Hello and welcome to Pearls of Paradise. My name is Courtney and I'm coming to you from Parma, Ohio, where I live with my husband and all of our yarn. Today is Friday, June 23rd, and I've got a finished object today. I have a half object, we have some whips, we have a new cast on, we have lots to talk about. So grab something to drink, something to work on, whatever, and let's get into some knitting and crafting chatter. So hello, how are you? I hope you've had a wonderful couple of weeks. I know I have. It's muggy today, but cool here, pretty overcast. So I do have the windows open. You will probably hear some neighborhood noises. My husband is taking a vacation day off work today, so he's home. So you might hear some life noises going on. It's real life over here. So that's what we've got today. All right. Before we get into the knitting, couple things, housekeeping things. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here joining me. And if you're returning, welcome back. I'm so happy that you're spending your day with me today. Let's see, my Instagram, Ravelry, Pokemon Go friend code, and our podcast Ravelry group will all be linked down below. Thank you so much to the viewer who told me they couldn't find the Ravelry group. It never occurred to me to just link it, and so I'm going to do that. So thank you so much to you. And so that's down below, along with probably everything that I talk about in this podcast episode. If I'm missing something, please feel free to reach out. Let me know. I'm happy to try to get you the information if I can. Let's see, administrative things. Last episode, I had mentioned that I was considering changing my release schedule to a Sunday release. For right now, I thought about it more, and I listened to the lack of feedback. I think only one of you gave me any feedback. But in looking, it seems like fewer of you are able to actually see my videos or watch them or have time for that when I release on a Sunday versus a Friday. So, and looking ahead at my personal schedule, I think for the time being, I will stick with a Friday record and release. And we'll just see. We'll play it by ear. I don't have any upcoming plans this summer as of yet that I think would impact that or hinder that. But subject to change, we shall see. The other thing that I do want to remind you all about, or tell you about if you're new here, is we have a knit along that we'll craft along that will be coming up in August 1st, and it'll run through October 31st. This is the first time I've ever done one of these, so we will see how it goes, but it's called the Kit and Caboodle Craft Along. So basically, rules are, I like rules. I know a lot of people don't, but I like them, so we have a few. You need to use a kit or a set. An Advent mini set is great. Any kind of mini skein set, that will work. Or a kit that a dyer put together, or a kit you picked up at your local Joann's craft store or Michael's or whatever. Some kind of kit or set that you use for your project. It has to be a fiber craft. So knitting, crochet, needlepoint, cross stitch, rug hooking, quilting, sewing, spinning. If it's a kit and a fiber craft, macrame, whatever, we're good. I think. Oh, and whips are allowed as long as they're 50% or less of the way done. I think that's it. I think those are all the rules. There might be more. I think that's it though. All the details are in the Ravelry group in the thread there. So definitely join there. That is one of the two places I'm running this. So I will be running it over there as well as on Instagram. there is a hashtag. I will link the hashtag down below or post it down below, probably, or put it on the screen, something. And yeah, haven't totally decided how we're going to draw for prizes, whether I'm going to only do finished objects or whether we'll do chat or two. Not sure, probably depends on how many people participate or are planning to participate. I know some of you are. Some of you have already started sharing your kits with me, what you're planning to cast on or what other craft you're planning to work on. So that is super exciting. And I would love to know, if you have not told me yet, I would love to know what you're planning on working on for our craft along. Feel free to go ahead and post that over in the Ravelry group. Feel free to tag me on Instagram. I would really love to know. It'd be great to get some inspiration from other people, find out what you all are working on, and hopefully get the word out about the craft along. I did last time share, so I will quickly share 2 of the prizes. These may be the only prizes we'll see for the craft along. Sorry for the crinkling. I don't want to take these out of the packages. So the first prize will be a kit, obviously, since it's a kit craft along. The Forget Me Not mitts by Heather Sakal of Girl Gone Loopy. And that kit is put together by the Alpaca Company with their yarn. Those will make a gorgeous pair of mitts. And then the other one is a kit for the Shortcut Cowl by Telly Bean Knits. And the yarn is by Created For You by Laura, who is the one that put the kit together. So both of these have the pattern and the yarn included in the kits. So those are the prizes as of now. I will probably be picking up a few other things to put with those to make some little, like, I don't know, prize bundle kind of things, as well as some kits from non-knitting crocheting crafts. Hopefully I'm going to pick up a cross-stitch kit or 2, some things like that, in case the person that wins is not a knitter or crocheter. Anyway, all right, I think that's all of the admin that I have today. I can't think of anything else. So let's talk finished objects. I'm so excited. I am so excited. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have already seen my finished object picture. I finished my Confetti crop top by Knitatude this week. I have really worked the last couple of weeks almost monogamously on this top to get it done. It has tons of eases built into the pattern. I love it, love it, love it. I finished it. I stayed up late several nights this week trying to finish it. I finally finished it on Wednesday evening, which felt really appropriate since that was the summer solstice. Got it washed. It's blocked. Ends are woven in. It is done. I wore it to work yesterday. I had one person say something about it who knew that it was a new sweater, but that's okay. I love this pattern. It was very easy to understand. It took me a while to get going. That was just a motivation issue on my part. Nothing to do with the pattern or the yarn or anything. But it's a yoked sweater and it's got this gorgeous lace detail that runs all the way around. You can kind of see it's on the sleeves. It goes across the bust, across the back. It is completely reversible. The front and the back are the same, which is interesting. It doesn't, I'm not sure what I think about that yet. I think all of the sweaters that I've knit before have had a front and back with like short rows in the back or just a totally different front and back. But this is the same all the way around. So that's kind of interesting. I kind of like that. It does come down a little bit lower on the back because of that than I'm used to, but I don't think that's a bad thing. It's just something I personally am not super used to. So let's talk about the yarn. The yarn is by HanaMadeIt in her Halo fingering base, which is a single ply fingering weight, 90% superwash merino, 10% linen. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I was assuming that the small amount of linen would make this cooler. And it probably does, but not to the extent that I was thinking. So it is still a warm sweater, but it's not hot. It's not too warm to wear. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and apologize. The neighbor kids across the street are screaming at the top of their lungs. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. I really hope not, but if you can, I am so sorry. They are across the street. And they're like early elementary down to 2 years old, and they are outside running around, and we're very glad they're playing outside. That's great. But we might hear some of that. So sorry. But yeah, it was yesterday. The high here was only 72 Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is Celsius. But I work in a building with air conditioning, and different pockets of the building are sometimes much cooler, much warmer, depending on where in the building you are. So usually I layer up, but this was really nice because with the short sleeves and the drape and flowiness, and the little bit of lace, I wasn't too warm in it, but I also didn't feel like I needed to put a jacket on. So that was good. I don't know how much wear this will realistically get in the summer, though. It can get quite hot and humid here. I mean, there are a lot of places in the country that are much hotter than we are in the summer. You know, there's areas that are over 100 degrees regularly. Thankfully, we do not reach that typically. But it's not uncommon for us to have days in the upper 80s, low 90s in the summer, which is, I just don't like heat very much. So for me, that's very hot. And I don't think that this will be, even though wool regulates temperature well and it's got that linen, I don't think this will be something I'll be wearing on those very hot days. I do think it will be an excellent transitional piece as we go from winter to spring to summer, and then from summer to fall. Those days where here we get all 4 seasons, and sometimes we get them all in a day, and you don't know what to wear. This would be a really great piece for that in this fiber content. I do love the drape on this, and I will insert footage at some point. You may have already seen it. Actually, no, I'll insert it right here of me wearing it. Okay, so you've now seen me wearing it. You've seen the drape. It has lovely, lovely drape. It's got ribbing at the bottom. It's got ribbing on the sleeves. I mean, I go on about this pattern. I really, really enjoyed knitting it. I'm really enjoying wearing it. I did have a little bit of a yarn chicken issue, which I sort of knew going into it that I would. I think I was just being really nervous about it. I didn't need to be quite as nervous as I was, but Hannah of HanaMadeIt, I don't believe she dyes yarn anymore. You've heard me say that a billion times if you're not new, if you're returning. I love her yarn. She is hyper local to me, like a town or two over, which for me is very local. But I don't think she dyes anymore. She hasn't posted in almost 2 years of anything that she's dyed. So my chances of getting another skein if I ran out of this was like none. So here we are. I can't get any more. Yeah. So I got through the yoke, and it took one of the 2 skeins just to get through the yoke, and then I had to before I even divided for sleeves, I had to break into that second ball. So I was very nervous. And so once I had divided for the sleeves and knit just a little bit, which I don't center pull typically. Do you center pull or do you pull from the outside? I tried doing the center pull thing multiple times a few years ago, and I knit on the go a lot, and I just didn't find that worked well for me. I didn't like the way that the cakes collapsed in, and then, I don't know, it just wasn't for me. So I'm an outside pull kind of person. I also like seeing that ball shrink and shrink and shrink. There's just something about it that I really love. So anyhow, I had been pulling from the outside to knit the body, and I thought, I don't want to run out of yarn and not have enough to finish the sleeves. So I took from the center and did both sleeve finishing, and then continued on with the body until I had kept weighing my yarn until I felt like, okay, I think I have enough to get through the hem and the bind off and not worry too much. And I did, thankfully. I probably could have even gotten another row or two on the body, but so yeah, that is it. It's done. I am so pleased with it. I absolutely love it. I would highly recommend if you're looking for another summery tee to knit, or whatever, just a nice crop. You don't even have to make it cropped. Like, you could totally lengthen it or whatever. Oh, and I made the size large. I don't think I said that. This is the size large. I have lots of ease. Anyways, go check the pattern out. Again, that's the Confetti crop top by Knitatude. So like attitude, but Knitatude. I love it. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing. We'll go with the half object. I finished the first Charmander sock. So if you're new here, you may not know, I am a huge Pokemon Go fan. I love playing. I do have a lot of other Pokemon games that I play occasionally. I collect Pokemon plushies. I really love Pokemon. So the yarn for this was inspired by the Pokemon Charmander. And it is, well, I'll tell you, the heel, toe, and cuff is just fingering weight sock yarn by Cornbread and Honey, who is a dyer local to me in the color gray. And I used it, I'm using up a bit of scrap from a sweater that I knit for my new niece. And the main color is by String Theory Colorworks in the Inertia base. And that's an 80/20 superwash merino nylon. There's their ball band. And the colorway is Cynops Cyanurus. And this knit up super fast. So if you watched last episode, I knit from here to here on mostly on a little mini overnight getaway that my husband and I took, and also at a friend's baby shower. And I did finish it up. The second one is not cast on. I had fully planned on casting on the second sock yesterday. And I did the toe. The toe is all I did yesterday. So my husband and I went to the drive-in, and long story short, we had a lot of time to kill between getting off work and actually going to the drive-in. So we stopped at a Starbucks near the drive-in. I haven't been to a Starbucks in years, and just had coffee and sat, and I thought, oh, this is perfect. I'll finish the toe. I realized that I did not bring a tapestry needle, so I couldn't Kitchener it there, but that's okay. That was fine. I thought I'll finish the toe up to the Kitchener point, and I knit my socks on 9-inch circulars, but I do use magic loop for the heel and the toe. And I thought, that's fine. I'll pull out my 9-inch circulars. I will cast on for that second sock. my 9-inch circulars were not in my project bag. So I either left them at the coffee shop I went to that morning, or I left them at work, or they are somewhere around here and fell out of the project bag. We got home very late last night, so someone is leaf blowing. I'm so sorry if you can hear that. I have not really tried that hard to look for it, to be honest, for those needles. So it is entirely possible that they are just in my house, like somewhere right in this room, and I haven't looked. So they're probably around here. They may have, anyway, I hope. Hopefully I'll find them. If not, I guess I'll be ordering another pair of 9-inch circulars, but such is the way it goes sometimes. So I really wanted to have the second one cast on, but that didn't happen. And that's okay. The progress keeper I'm using is this video game controller, which I thought, come on, there we go, was a great choice for a Pokemon yarn. So, and I'm not using a pattern. This is just my vanilla sock I always do, 64 stitches, knit cuff down, 2x2 ribbing on the cuff, slip stitch heel flap and gusset, and a wedge toe, just my regular vanilla sock. So, but at least I have a half object. Hopefully by next time I'll have a second one at the very least started, but we'll see. And that's living in a matching bag. And if you do not know who Charmander is this guy. So that's his yarn. All right. So that's whip one, half object. Done with that. So as an afterthought yesterday, as we were walking out the door yesterday morning, because we didn't come home between work and the drive-in, thankfully, I was thinking and was like, almost as just an afterthought, I was like, oh, well, just in case I just don't feel like working on my sock or whatever, I'll bring a second project. Thank goodness I did. I didn't even get that much done on it, but you know, nobody wants to not be able to knit at the movies. Like, you know. And I don't get to go to movies very often. I deal with migraines. I've dealt with them my entire life. And traditional movie theaters, especially as I've aged, are just a huge trigger for me. So I don't go to traditional movie theaters anymore. The drive-in is what I found works for me. But obviously, I live in Northeast Ohio. We get all 4 seasons. And so I don't get to go to the movies very often. So when I do, it's a big deal. And we're trying this summer to make that happen more than we have. So it's special. I want to be able to knit on something to kind of have those memories and that specialness knit into a project. So you haven't seen this one for a minute. You saw it for a while there, and it's been a while. So this is living in this is like a fall coffee bag, but it's big enough and it's fine. I would really like to not have stuff in fall bags in spring and summer, but you know what? It is what it is. It's fine. And I have a feeling this won't get done until next fall anyway. So, okay. And that's my Vertices Unite by Stephen West. I feel like this is taking a million years to knit. A million years. And I have seen so many people knit this, and so many people get it right off of their needles, and I don't know why I'm not. I don't know. There's 2 sizes, and I'm doing the larger size, and maybe some of the people I've seen have done the smaller size. It is a lot of knitting, but I really want the big big one. How am I even going to show this now? It's so big already. And I'm only on the 3rd section. There are 6 sections. So that's what I have so far. I do think part of it is, as I've said before, I do a lot of my knitting on the go. And as projects get big, they're a little trickier to take with me on the go. So they tend to then sit and then I don't work on them. And yeah, so that's probably part of it. So we're going to recap the yarns. If you are a returning viewer, you are probably so tired of seeing this and so tired of me talking about the yarns, but sorry. All of this is Fangirl fibers, fingering. All of it is from her Disney Yarn Club, her from 2022. It was a Yarn of the Month club, so I don't believe you can get any of these anymore. I don't know if she's going to eventually release them later alone. I don't know. But anyways, that's what these are from. So they're all Disney themed. The pinky purple striped part is Tale as Old as Time, inspired by Beauty and the Beast. The white, which has speckles of other colors, it's just hard to see when striped with pink, is Glitch, inspired by Wreck-It Ralph. And we'll go to section 2. And the aqua teal, it's not really teal, it's more aqua and purple. Stripe part is, am I even on the right side? Yes, I am. I'm on the right side. I don't know. Is, oh, you can see this on camera just fine. Under the Sea, inspired by The Little Mermaid, which we're going to talk about in a second. And the other color is like this golden pinky color. That is Best Day Ever, inspired by Tangled. And then this section that I'm currently on is Sisu, inspired by Raya and the Last Dragon, or Raya and the Last Dragon, I think. Yeah. I only got this much done, which is not much. Part of it is I hadn't knit on this in forever, so trying to figure out where I was in the pattern took a while. And then trying to figure out where I was, and then I didn't have it memorized anymore, and it's not that hard, but I'm also watching a movie, and anyways, that's why I only got a little bit done, but a little bit is more than nothing. So there's that. I do think part of the reason that this is taking so long is when I had cast this on originally, I pictured wearing it on our trips in spring. They were all in the spring. Our little day trips and our week-long vacation and stuff in the spring, and that didn't happen. And I wanted to wear it when we went to go see The Little Mermaid at the drive-in, and that didn't happen. And I think at the point that I knew none of that was going to happen, I knew it wasn't going to get finished in time. I just sort of lost my motivation and my desire to really keep working on it. But I do like it. I just don't know why it's taking me so long. I don't know. I need to dig out the motivation here. I don't know. But at least I made some progress. I would really like to have this done, though. I have a lot coming up. We're going to talk about some future plans later, but there's a lot going on. I just don't see this getting done anytime soon, and I need to be okay with that. Hopefully by the end of the year. I think that's my goal, is by the end of the year. This needs to be done. I would like it for fall, but by the end of the year, I really want it done. Okay, so anyways, that's my Vertices Unite by Stephen West. Yarn is by Fangirl Fibers. If you've been watching, you are so sick of hearing about this. Okay, we'll move on. We'll move on to something brand new. Are we ready to move on to brand new? Yeah, we are. Move on to something brand new. So, first project I've ever done in this bag, which I talked about in my episode recapping what was it? Great Lakes Fiber Festival, I think. Yes, Great Lakes Fiber Festival. That was a couple of episodes ago. I did a special standalone episode about that. So you can feel free to go back and watch that. If you want to watch somebody with their yarn haul, that's the time. But I got this bag. It's so sweet, so summery, with lemons and butterflies. And there are some, this side has more that I think you can see easily. Honeybees. Anyways, this bag just screams summer to me, which is why my summer solstice cast on is in here. So if you've been around, you know, for each solstice and equinox, I cast on a new project just to mark the season. So I felt it was really fitting that I finished this on summer solstice to kind of wrap up spring. This was not my spring equinox cast on. This was my birthday cast on. But my birthday is in early May, so, you know, kind of wrapped up spring. And I started a new sweater for summer. So the name is kind of contrarian, I guess, to starting it on the summer solstice, but it makes sense to me. So can you guess what this is? Any guesses? It looks like nothing. It doesn't look like much at this stage. I'm going to give you a hint, because I feel like so many people have knit this. As soon as you see the yarn, you will know what it is. Did you guess? That's right. If you guessed the Autumn League Pullover by 2 of Wands, you would be correct. So I have talked about knitting this for a while. Why did I choose a sweater that's called the Autumn League Pullover for summer? Well, first off, it's knit in cotton, Lion brand cotton jeans, LB collection cotton jeans, but just Lion brand, you know, 100% cotton, and the color is gray fade. So first off, it's knit in cotton, and secondly, I would really like this done for autumn. I think it'll be a nice transitional sweater. It's very sweatshirty and oversized. At least I'm knitting it a little oversized. It's a great pattern. If you've never heard of it or have never looked it up, definitely go check it out. Yeah, so I got all of this done on the summer solstice before I went into work for the most part. Look at these increases. I feel like this yarn has really lovely stitch definition. It's really, really nice. I typically don't enjoy working with cotton yarn, but I'm really liking this. I'm liking the gauge that I'm getting. I am knitting these on size US 7 needles. These are from my Knit Picks interchangeable set, which I ranted about. Not a bad rant, just tangent-y on my last episode. So if you're interested in kind of my review, what I think about them, go check that last episode out for that. But yeah, that's all I have done. I probably am at the point where I need to switch to a longer cord, but I just haven't had a chance to do that yet. I am really enjoying this construction. I think this is a raglan construction. I haven't really knit a raglan for an adult before. I may have knit one for one of my baby nieces and nephews at some point, but I don't know. I've never knit myself a true raglan. I have knit a couple of ranunculuses, whatever. I've knit a couple of those, which are like a yoke / raglan construction, but I've never knit just a true raglan. So very excited about this. Very excited to see how it knits up. And I'm really excited to have this. As many of you know, my parents have a seasonal campsite that my husband and I go to quite often. And I just picture myself in this sweater, like pulling it on, you know, over a tank top or something in the evening when it gets cool and we're sitting out by the campfire. That's what I'm picturing for this sweater. And it's gray, which is not my normal color. If you've been around, you're probably wondering, like, what is happening? We've got more neutrals here. Although this, if you look closely, has some different colors popped in. I have really started thinking about what I need in my handmade wardrobe going forward. One of my goals that I don't know if I'll be able to do or not, but one of my pie in the sky goals is by the time I turn 40, which is in under a decade, that about 70% of my wardrobe will be handmade. And so thinking through that, I'm looking at my wardrobe, thinking about what I need in my wardrobe generally. And I've realized I just need some neutral pieces, even though I would much prefer to knit with really bright, loud neons and crazy variegated yarns and crazy colors. I do need some staple neutral pieces. And that's kind of where this comes in. A gray, plain sweatshirty style sweater is exactly what I need. So, and I think, did I bring it over? I did. I don't know how well you guys are going to see. Oh, that shows up okay. So this is a picture of the sweater. You can't see some of the details. It's got a really nice, like, traveling stitch neck detail that I think really makes it. It's got this nice split hem. Lots of just really nice details. So go look that pattern up. Again, that is the Autumn League Pullover by 2 of Wands. Go look it up. It's got some nice details, but it's generally just a classic raglan sweatshirty sweater. I do know it will outgrow this project bag soon. I don't currently have a sweater size bag available though, so this I had scrunched in another bag that was this size, and by the end it really barely fit. So I'm hoping that maybe in the next month I can get one of those other sweater size bags freed up. Well, I guess I do have one, but it's pretty wintry and I'm not feeling it at the moment. So, but worst comes to worst, I guess I do have one free. But anyways, Autumn League Pullover, Lion brand or LB collection cotton jeans. It's a nice sweater and I can't wait to have that. Keep going with it. All right, last whip that I'm going to talk about today, I think this is the only other thing I've worked on, is another one you guys haven't seen in, I don't know when. It's been a long time, but I pulled out, last week I was feeling scrappy Sunday, so I pulled out my Cozy Memories blanket. I'm gonna need to back it up. And it is getting huge. Not huge, it's not even that big, but it's getting huge for me to show. So I have no idea where exactly I was the last time that I showed this to you. My progress keeper was here, but when I picked it back up, I was already almost all the way through this square. So I don't know if I showed it to you and didn't move the progress keeper, or if I had worked on it and then never showed it. But anyways, I finished up this square for sure. This one is definitely Fangirl fibers. No, it is. That one's from my 999 Happy Haunts wrap. This is by Ms. Monsters Creations, who I don't think dyes anymore, from her Advent that I got last year. And then I added 2 brand new squares. So this one is also a Fangirl Fibers from my 999 Happy Haunts wrap. And this one is also from the Ms. Monsters Creation Advent. And the name of this, I think it was day 19, and the name of this one is Snow Globes. And I'm finding that hers are just not always quite enough to do a full square. Some of them are, and some of them aren't, and they're all from the same Advent, and I haven't used them for anything else, so I don't know. I must just be they must all be off by like a yard or two, and that's making a difference. So I used a teeny bit of this in the corner there. So not a lot more to say on this, just put on a couple more squares. And I don't really count blankets as whips, so this has been on my needles a while, but it's super enjoyable to work on. I almost brought this with me to the drive-in, and I kind of wish that I had. It's so big. I have it living in this basket with a bunch of Advent minis and scraps and things that I plan to put into it. And I didn't want to take the basket, and now I kind of like, in hindsight, I wish I had, because it would have been better movie knitting, I think, at this stage than the Vertices Unite was, but I also wasn't anticipating not having needles for a sock, so I don't know. It's fine. But anyways, Cozy Memories blanket. I feel like a lot of people have knit this. If you're looking to use up scraps or minis, this is a great project for that. So, you know what? Yeah, let's go with, speaking of scraps and minis and sweaters and all the things, I thought since we are almost at the end of June, which pulls us to about the halfway point in the year, I thought it would be good to do a little mid-year recap. Not recap, that's not what I wanted to say. Mid-year check-in. A mid-year check-in. So I know not everybody sets knitting goals, but I set some knitting goals for this year, and I can't find where I wrote them down, but that's okay. I know they're in a previous podcast, probably my either last one of 2022 or my first one of 2023. So if you want to hear me talk more about those in depth, or if you want to fact check me and see if I forgot my goals, feel free. But I do have a couple of, well, I have several goals, and I thought it would be good to do a little mid-year check-in on those. So let's talk about it. Okay, so goal 1, and these are not in order of importance. These are just general goals I had set. Goal 1 was, and some of these overlap. I don't actually, it'd be nice if I could find where I wrote them down, but I kind of know what they are. Okay, goal 1. I wanted to get through a bunch of my old whips. And I felt like I really hadn't done that until I went through my Ravelry project page today and was like, oh, no, I have gotten quite a few old whips done. And I am working on my Whip 9 2023 Bingo Challenge by Fangirl Fibers and Yarnaceous, which I haven't talked about in a while. So I thought I'd pull that out and we would see what I have accomplished. And I've gotten 2/3 of my bingo board done so far. So I have done the Mini Me MCal, which also I'm going to talk about again in another minute because that plays into another one of my goals. I finished my Ranunculus, which I'd cast on at the very end of both of these were end of 2022 cast-ons. I finished my 2022 Turkey Trot MCal, which was a cowl kind of thing that was really cool that my brother promptly claimed. So that's gone. I don't have that anymore. My Emerald Turban. I didn't think I cast that on last year, but I must have, I guess. Yeah, I must have cast it on last year. Anyways, whatever. I finished that. Maybe that was my Winter Solstice cast on. So that was another end of 2022 project. My Magnolia Lane cardigan was my cast on this year for a pattern you had bought in 2022. I don't remember what all of the prompts for these were. And I think I printed one of these out with the prompts, and I don't have it on me. But anyways, these two are another one that plays into other goals, which we'll talk about in a second. And I also completed my Throwing It Back MCal, which was the Cozy Up Knits MCal from 2022. So that was an end of 2021 cast on. So as of right now, I've got 1 and 2 bingos. So that's great. In order to fill up my cart, I have 3 more whips to get through by the end of the year. And 2 of them are for my husband, who really, truly deserves. He needs some knitted things. He deserves them, and he actually needs them. So I have got to get going on those. And that is his Mammatus, which is a shawl that I just keep having problems with, which I test knit the pattern. And in my test knitting, I had no problem. So I don't know what my issue is. That's a me problem, not a pattern problem. But I need to go back and look at that and figure out what in the world I did wrong. My Vertices Unite, which we just got done talking about. And my man's zippered vest, which again, we've talked about ad nauseum. And I just need to finish it. I just need to work on these things. So anyways, goal 1, I think, was this. And also working down my whips, which I've done a pretty good job with. There were a couple of other things that didn't make it on the board that I know I finished that were 2022 or earlier whips. My Marvelous Minis mitts, which I'm shocked didn't make it on there, but I think because I wasn't sure I was ever going to finish them, that's why they didn't make it on there. But I finished those, and there were a couple of other things. So my whip down has actually gone pretty well. I finished my Rye Light socks, just a whole bunch of stuff. So that is good. I don't know that I have a whole lot fewer whips because I have cast things on as I've gone, but I am trending towards meeting that goal. So that is awesome. Goal number 2 played kind of into that, which was I wanted to finish a sweater every quarter of this year, because at the end of the year, I wanted 4 finished sweaters, 1 knit in each quarter. I am definitely on track to do that. In fact, depending on what we count as a sweater, I'm ahead of the game. Now granted, that's a sweater knit within each quarter, so technically I'm not ahead of the game, but first quarter, I finished my ranunculus. I had barely started it before the first quarter, so that was fine. I finished that in the first quarter. My second quarter, depending on what we're counting, I finished, well, actually, was that? Okay, I don't know when I finished it, but I knit the Ripple Bralette, which I would consider a garment, not a full sweater, but that's okay. It was another garment, which I think is amazing in and of itself. I knit my Magnolia Lane cardigan, which is a short sleeve cotton cardigan. I've worn it on the podcast several times. I've talked about it at length. You can go back and see details on that in another episode. But I finished that. And then I finished this t-shirt in this quarter as well. So I got 2 done in this quarter, both of which were short sleeved. But I think knitting 2 certainly makes up for not having a long sleeved garment done. And they count. I'm the one that's making these rules up for myself. They count. My Autumn League pullover will be the one I knit for this quarter, so that needs to be done by the end of September. And then I just need 1 more sweater done for the year, which may, since I'll be knitting it in that last quarter of the year, maybe something in like a super bulky weight. We'll see. And these are adult size sweaters for myself. Obviously, I've knit a baby sweater in there, so, you know, that was another garment. I feel like this is the year I have fallen in love with garment knitting, and I am so here for it. So that was goal number 2. Goal number 3, maybe there were only 3 goals. I really thought there were 4, but maybe I'm thinking old whips and my bingo challenge are separate. I don't know. Whatever. Goal 3 is the one that I don't think I've done nearly as good a job with. And that is to use up scraps and use up minis. So I started the year really strong. I made my Marvelous Mini, or no, No, I made the Mini Me MCal, which used up like 13 mini skeins. That was great. That was awesome. Or maybe it was 12, whatever. It used a bunch of minis. That was great. I used minis in the baby sweater, but not very much of each one, so I still have a bunch left, but that's okay. I used some. I'm using the scrap gray yarn from that sweater in the Charmander sock. I'm putting some minis in my my Cozy Memories blanket. So I feel like I've used some. I've used a couple minis in like sock. Well, I haven't even finished any socks this year. Which, in case you're wondering, no, I didn't finish the black toe on those socks. I just didn't have or take the time to dig out the black yarn. So no, those are not done, but it's fine. But all in all, haven't used a ton of scraps, haven't used a ton of minis, not in the way that I had anticipated, not in the way I've planned. Now I have made a few. I've made one headband that wasn't even out of, anyway. I have a second headband started that's finishing up a leftover. I have plans, but I need to enact those plans. So we'll see. So of the 3 goals, 2 of them are decently on track and one of them is not on track at all, which wasn't a very measurable goal, I guess, which is probably why I'm not doing so well on that. Everything else had a measurement, and they say like goals that you can easily measure. But I guess I just wanted to set an intention more for that one to use more minis and scraps, but I have really not done that. But there's still half of the year left. There is still time. There's still time. So this is just kind of my mid-year check-in on where I am with those things. Where are you with your goals? Did you set goals for yourself? Did you not? It's totally okay either way. I don't always set knitting goals for the year. I think this is the first year I really intentionally did it, I think. I don't know. All the last few years just blur together anyways, so I don't know. But yeah, if you did set goals, let me know how you're doing on those. Let me know. Or are you going to set a goal now? Like by the end of the year, I want to do this and this. Or, wow, I've accumulated a lot of minis and my husband's starting to mention it. I need to use some of those up. If that's your goal, let me know. I really would like somebody else to be in the same boat as me. But we'll see. Anyways, those are my goals. That's where I am. I don't know how much of that's going to get done though, because I bought yarn. I didn't plan on buying yarn. I bought a bunch of Red Heart Super Saver. You're probably wondering, why did you buy Red Heart Super Saver? You just got rid of a bunch. Also, I don't know why this one has a different label. That's weird. You just got rid of a bunch of acrylic yarn. You just got rid of a bunch. Why did you buy more? Why did you buy 5 skeins? Why? For ornaments. For ornaments. So, and you're probably also wondering, okay, ornaments. Why do you need 5 gigundo skeins? How many yards are in this even? Too many yards. How many? 364 yards in each of these of worsted weight. Why? For ornaments? Why? Because I'm making 50. My uncle is part of a company based in the Netherlands. He lives next door to me. But anyways, he is part of a company based in the Netherlands, and they give Christmas ornaments to their employees every year. And he asked if this year I would make those. So I said yes. They picked, he and my aunt picked out a pattern and everything. So it is the Jolly Pickle by Michelle Wilcox. And I don't have the pattern printed yet or anything, but I do need to start this. So, by mid-November, I need to have 50 of these Christmas ornaments made. That is a tall order, but I'm very excited about it. I think it'll be really cool to knit things and then have them go to the Netherlands to like across, like really far. That's really, really far away from me. As I'm in America, and that's, you know, on the other side of an ocean. So I think that's really, really cool, and I'm really excited about it. He is paying me to do this. This is not free labor or anything. I don't often take commissions. I haven't taken a commission in several years, and it's something now that I work full-time outside of my home I typically don't do. But I did take this one. I think it's a really cool opportunity, and I'm really excited about it. That being said, that is a lot of knitting. I have not made one of these yet. I need to make one, kind of time how long it takes me to make, and figure out a game plan on how I'm going to get all those done. Yeah. So we'll see what else gets done. There's also Crazy Sock Ladies Summer Sock whatever. Summer sock camp. I don't know why that took me so long to think of. Summer sock camp going on. I'm working on those socks for that. Nitty Natty has sock week coming up in a few weeks that I want to cast another pair of socks on for. I forgot to mention with this. Wow, I wish I could remember the name of the person who's doing the summer tea mal. But if you search on Instagram or whatever, the hashtag summer tea mal 23, I think, you'll be able to find it. I did enter my tea in that mal. So there's a lot of knit alongs going on. I've got a knit along coming up that I'm running that we talked about. So many things. So many things. So we'll see how many of my goals get done. I wasn't anticipating this, and I have a lot of babies to knit for. I wasn't planning on having 4 babies to knit for this year. I was planning on having 1. So I'm not having any of these babies, by the way, in case anyone's wondering. They are not mine. They are other people's babies that are being born this year. One will be born at the very beginning of next year, but I need to get that knitting done this year. Anyways, all that to say, there is a lot of knitting happening that I hadn't planned for when I set those original goals. And that's okay. We're going to be flexible. So the Red Heart Super Saver is my only stash edition, and I can run through those colors in case you're interested. You'll be seeing a lot of these. So if you miss it, don't worry. There will be plenty of episodes where I talk more about this. So this is charcoal, and this is just a worsted weight, by the way, if you're not familiar with Red Heart Super Saver. I don't know. I mean, we have this in like every big box craft store in America, pretty much. It's at Michael's, to Joann's. I would say like this is what most of us learn on when you're starting to knit. This is just like the workhorse go-to acrylic yarn. So it's 100% acrylic, worsted weight, like I said, 364 yards of skein. It's really big, very, very cost effective, which is the other wonderful thing about this. Very cost effective. So this is charcoal. This one is, and I do not know, this has like an ancient label on it, which is bizarre. I bought these all from Joann's, my local Joann Fabrics, all at the same time in a curbside order. And I do not know why in the world this one has a totally different label. And this is, I wish it said when this label was from, because I have no idea why this is like such an old label. The yarn doesn't look like it's been around a really long time or anything. So I don't know if the label on this broke or something and they had this. I have no idea. It's very strange. But this is soft white. Yeah, this doesn't even, I can't even find the yardage on this. It's just, how many, are they the same ounces? No, this says it's 8 ounces and this says it's 7. I don't know. This is weird. I just opened the bag of yarn. I picked up my curbside order. I didn't even look at it until now, and I picked it up like over a week ago. That's weird. Okay, whatever. It'll work. It'll be fine. It's no big deal. This is cherry red. It's very bright red. And this is spring green. So I'm going to be spending a lot of time working on those. Other future plans, I think that's it for right now. I just went through a ton of future plans. What am I talking about? So that's what I've got is future plans. That was my only stash edition. So let's go into life update. It's been a busy couple of weeks. We've had some new people starting at work. So there's been a lot going on with that. It's vacation season, so different people are off at different times. And it's summer reading, which is our busy time of year. So there's been a lot going on there. Let's see, last weekend here in the US was Father's Day. So we went out to my parents' campsite to spend the weekend with my parents and both of my brothers. That was really nice, really lovely. We played a lot of yarn games. We didn't play any yarn games. We played yard games, like can jam and ladder golf and cornhole, and just had a really great weekend. They were doing an everyone's birthday party at the campground, so we went to that. That was really fun. They had cake and ice cream, and that was really a fun time. So lots of things going on there. Like I said, last night we went to the drive-in and we saw Elemental, which is the new Disney Pixar movie, and we loved it. But you guys, bring tissues. Bring tissues. Pixar did it again. By the end of the movie, I was sobbing. It was so good. If you miss, and I talked to on Instagram, Claire the Knitter. I knew that she had gone to see Elemental, so I reached out to her and was like, how was it? And she was like, it's so good. It's like a rom-com. And I was like, really? And it is. It was so cute. I really loved it. Really loved it. It was great. Bring tissues though, for sure. I won't give anything away, but there's a short at the beginning before the movie. Oh, it's going to make you cry. It's going to make you cry. Yeah. Started the movie with tissues, ended the movie with tissues. It was great. Wonderful movie. Had a lot of fun with that. Like I said, my husband is off today, so we're kind of having a laze about at home, movie marathon day today. We got up really late today because we didn't get home till very late last night. And we went out to eat last night too. We had Mexican. We just had a little date night. I think that's most of what I've done the last couple of weeks. Yeah, I don't think there's been anything else big going on as far. Oh, no, there was something big. So I became an aunt again. My sister-in-law had her baby on, I don't know, a week before Father's Day. So we're an aunt and uncle again. Mom and baby are okay. But baby needed some extra time in the hospital, getting things, getting ready to come home and stuff. So hopefully she'll be coming home soon. We are so excited to meet her. It's great. So that's exciting. That's the baby I knit the rainbow sweater for. So that was exciting. Let's see. I think that's it. Upcoming plans. Tomorrow after I go to work, my husband has a 3-day weekend. We're meeting up with some friends for dinner. That'll be nice. Next Friday night, I have knit night with my knit group. We meet once a quarter. I am really looking forward to that. And then that's also Independence Day weekend, I guess. It falls on a Tuesday this year, but I'm taking a 4-day weekend. So that will be nice. My husband has a 5-day weekend. That'll be really great too. So yeah, it's just a lot of fun things coming up at a little bit slower pace for summer and also faster pace for summer. I don't know. However fast or slow life goes by. And I think that is everything I have to talk about today. I feel like this was a long one, but my camera cut out a few times due to space issues, and I had to pause for a couple other things. So thanks for sticking with me through this slightly disjointed episode. I have no idea what time we're at because it's in so many pieces, so we'll see. But anyways, I hope you all have a great couple of weeks. I hope that you find lots of time to craft or enjoy your people or whatever. I would really super appreciate if you could like this video, leave a comment, subscribe. If you don't mind sharing over on Instagram about the craft along or about my channel, I would really love to grow our little community, our little Pearls of Parmadice community over here. But I need your help to do that. So I would really, really appreciate, even if all you can do is smash the like button, that would be awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I really hope that you get some time to craft, to knit, to crochet, to whatever it is that you're doing right now, bringing you joy. Be outside, hike, whatever. Drink your coffee, take a moment to yourself. But find some time to craft, and I'll be over here crafting too. This is not how we end. How do we end? Anyways, I hope that you enjoy your time knitting in your little corner of paradise. And I'll definitely be over here knitting away in my little corner of Parmadice. I'll see you next time, friends. Bye.